Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is an adorable return to form for the long-running farming series. Given my Harvest Moon remake fatigue, I had a healthy amount of skepticism going in, and I was glad to be proven wrong. While the changes and minor additions don't particularly innovate on the original, Grand Bazaar is a faithful remake that turns the cuteness up to 11. Just like in Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar, you're a newbie farmer who somehow also becomes the hustling heart of Zephyr Town's hyper-local economy. I got hands-on with a PC build, exploring this familiar and yet whole new game. Cozy farming games follow a trendy formula, and Grand Bazaar is no different. Plant vegetables, sell vegetables. Meet townsfolk, pick one, and get married. The biggest upgrade from Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar is obvious: the graphics. The stylized top-down Nintendo DS visuals have been rebuilt in 3D from the ground up. Grass shimmers and a light breeze breathes life and movement into the world. Water is rendered beautifully, right down to your reflection as you pass flowing rivers. Venturing beyond your farm is also enjoyable. I actually got lost a few times and had to refer to multiple maps to regain my bearings. Zephyr Town feels impressively large for a small village. Little shortcuts such as tree-covered paths and barrels that bounce you into the air add some fun to getting around. There's a new option for travel too, a Breath of the Wild style glider. While conceptually a perfect fit for a wind-based game, it doesn't feel as satisfying as its inspiration. I simply did not find many places high enough to spend a significant amount of time in the air. My coop already had some farm animals in it, including the happiest, fattest cow I had ever seen in my life. I also had a rideable horse kicking about. After milking the cow and shearing the sheep, I let my animals outside to graze. I had a patch of farmable land out here, which was disappointingly small, but I expect will expand with further progress. I had a few crops ready to harvest already, and plucking ludicrously large watermelons, almost the same size as my farmer, out of the ground made me smile. The famous windmills of the original Grand Bazaar have returned, of course. These are kind of hubs where your crafting happens. Dump ingredients inside and return later to pick up the finished product, whether it's cheese or a floral bouquet. This hands-off form of crafting affords you more time to go and butter up some townsfolk, though I had hoped for an expansion to the crafting system somewhat. It felt a little too easy to simply give stuff, get stuff. Hopefully in the final release, with more time-consuming craftables, this will feel more satisfying. Along with the return of the windmills is, well, wind. Stronger winds mean that your items are produced faster. Windstorms can threaten your crops, so you'll want to run out and set up windscreens around your veggies, mushrooms, and beehives. There's no blowing on the mic of your console to simulate wind gusts this time around, but let's face it, that was weird and a bit gross anyway.
Well then, my dear daughter, would you assist me in my mayoral duties?
As is the fashion of cozy games, the twee characters all resemble children, but are otherwise inoffensive. The exception to this is Felix, the oddly swole mayor with a booming voice and swaggersome personality, who has, of course, built a great statue of himself in the town square. Love interests are back. 2 new romanceable characters have been added to the roster of eligible bachelors and bachelorettes, equaling a total of 12 candidates. Those 2 newbies are billed as a big addition to this remake, though frankly, I've always found the romances the least engaging part of farming games, so I wasn't that excited. Your mileage and interest in digital love may vary. Romance milestone scenes are now fully voiced. The voice work is well acted and boosts the newness of this remake, but I didn't find any of the voices or characters particularly memorable.
Anyway, sorry to be a downer.
I played scenes with 2 romanceable characters. Jules is a bookish boy in a fancy coat who hints, very subtly, at a fascination with your life. I did antagonize him by telling him his story didn't make sense, so maybe I quashed my chances at true love there.
I hope I was able to explain it in a way that made it seem somewhat interesting, at least.
The other scene I played, featuring Sophie, felt rather more confusing to me. It involved intruding on a conversation between her and her dad, none other than the Mayor Felix. Nothing screams romance like your love interest chiding her clumsy dad.
Forgive me, my dear, I was careless.
Let's just say that I had little desire to continue building a relationship with her or her father.
No one's getting married, especially not me.
Now to get into the true core of Grand Bazaar, the town square market. You begin with a humble market stall. You can customize it, choosing tents, tables, or even a decorative barrel topped with vegetables to provide boosts such as Price Up Level 1. The market gameplay is basically a low-stakes shop management game. You entice potential customers over and they line up to buy your items. You'll need to keep an eye on their moods as you run around fulfilling orders and try not to make anyone storm off. The market feels abuzz with an endless stream of shoppers, which is again impressive for a small town game. Some customers don't make much sense. For instance, a little boy who, for some reason, wants to buy wheat. But that's part of the fun and silliness. I completed my shift without feeling overwhelmed, though I expect the market days will become more frenzied in later stages. You can also skip market shifts to check out other vendors' stalls. Yep, your fellow townsfolk are also contributing to the local economy. My favorite stall was Ramon's Critters, which sells new and awesome pets. I adopted 2 cats and 2 dogs and returned home that evening to a cottage teeming with cute animals. Other stalls offer items and services as diverse as seeds, new outfits, gift wrapping, and even an upgrade to your frying pan. Even our overconfident mayor participates in the market, selling secret techniques to streamline your farming. You can complete quests to help others improve their stores too, in turn offering you further upgrades. In this economy, everybody wins.
Take your time now.
One criticism of Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar is that it didn't hugely innovate on its predecessors, and ironically, the Story of Seasons remake doesn't innovate much either. The stream of remakes in this franchise is getting a bit tired, and I don't fancy one day playing a remake of Grand Bazaar's remake. I'm eager for the series to innovate and introduce deeper mechanics beyond just more tepid romance candidates. That said, Grand Bazaar is a fantastically overhauled game that feels almost brand new and exemplifies the cozy farming genre. That's a big step up from the last entry in the series, A Wonderful Life, which was a deeply disappointing, glorified port with dated graphics in a sadly sparse world. I'm really looking forward to sinking my teeth into the full release of Grand Bazaar in August. It's a strong recommendation from me, especially for anyone new to the series.
Indeed. I dare say the next time we meet, my mayoral and parental capabilities will have doubled. Yes!
Can you start by doubling the amount of intact plates we have?
Of course, dear.